Hi, Christian.
Hey, hi Nathan.
Thanks for helping my project.
You're welcome.
Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well, I'm originally from Germany. I've lived in 5 different countries, collected 3 different passports.
Which 5?
Norway, Germany, UK, India, US,
How long did you live in India?
4 years,
Where at in India?
in Pune.
पुणे. क्या आपको हिंदी आती है?
Oh, a little bit,
A
yes.
little bit.
Although they speak Marathi down there.
They do. That's true. But it's like North India. A lot more Hindi speakers in North India. If you go to South India, they might be upset.
Nowadays, it's overrun with Hindi speakers in Pune. That is true.
People vacationing, and of course Bollywood is probably a lot of Hindi films produced every year.
Right, correct.
Wow. Well, what brought you to India?
Work. I set up a joint venture company for a German engineering conglomerate.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, did you know that NASA's planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
I do indeed. I did know that.
How'd you find out?
I do watch a number of space YouTubes and look at the news, so I was able to find out pretty quickly.
Would it surprise you that whenever I go up to people on the street, about 80% of them have no clue we're going back to the moon?
Oh, well, sure, absolutely. I believe that because that's not in everybody's, it's not in their foremind to think about space.
And I used to think it was because of the personalized news feed and it just being filtered out. But I've been reading Dragonfly, which is about the Mirror Shuttle program. And the author of that book is writing in the early 1990s saying how nobody's paying attention to space. So I think it's been a problem probably since Apollo.
Well, and I think the government's to blame for that because NASA did not do any exciting programs that captured the public's fantasy. And I think even going back to the moon is a little bit like, hey, well, we've done that. What's new here?
I do get that a lot. Why are we going back? We've been there before,
Right.
What do we hope to discover?
Now, if somebody said we're going to Mars, everybody would probably be paying attention, right?
Or if you sent a dog to the moon, that would catch people's attention.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
If you send Snoopy for real to the moon,
Right.
that would get but it's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about us going back to the moon?
Well, at first I was a little disappointed, but then I got actually our technology is not mature yet to go to Mars, so we do need to go to the moon first and try everything out. So it makes sense to me.
Okay, but you see that as just being a stepping stone, not like an end to itself.
At the moment, I think it's just a stepping stone. Because even if people talk about helium-3 on the moon and trying to find a little bit of water in a desert that's more dry than the Atacama Desert here on Earth, then that's not a real attraction by itself, right?
I tell people about the water, and they're like, "We have plenty of water down here. Why do we need that?" It's kind of hard to appreciate the benefits of having it up there.
But I mean, eventually that will all happen, right?
And where do you see humanity in, say, 200 years?
Well, gee whiz, so all my favorite science fiction books I grew up with told me by now we'd already be on Mars, right? Mm-hmm. If not Jupiter. So, we're definitely behind. So how to give a prognosis where we're going to be, when, I've kind of given up on that.
It's kind of interesting, air travel. 1903, Wright brothers, first heavier the air flight. Nobody's interested in it. The Army's like, what would we do with it? Eventually, it kind of gets used for mail. And then World War II comes along, and they're like, it would be really cool.
well, actually, World War One.
World War One, yeah.
It took off like crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you almost need a war or a political event to drive technology, don't you?
Some type of event where it's like, we don't care about the status quo. We need to push it as far as we can.
So maybe the Chinese will be on that political race to Mars, and then we start running.
Yes. Though, with the Russians, at least we competed in space. I've heard some people talk about sabotage and things like that because it's far easier to cripple the opponent than necessarily to get ahead of them. And so that's something we kind of have to fight against.
Right. Yeah. I hadn't heard that, but it probably is easier just to trip your competitor, right?
crabs in the bucket, pulling each other down.
Crabs in the bucket. Exactly right. You remember that.
So, if you could, would you take a trip to space?
Oh, I would. I would definitely be very, very interested.
How far would you go? Just suborbital? Would you go to orbit? Would you go to the moon? Would you immigrate to Mars?
I probably would not immigrate to Mars, but I'd definitely like to go there.
Okay. Well, Christian, I really appreciate your time. I know we talked about a whole bunch of things, but is there anything you want to talk about we didn't get to?
No, I think I'm fine. I think I want my beer now.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go get you your beer.
All right.